Hello, meet my two friends. Businessman number one, Bob, and businessman number two, Jim. Bob is a farmer in a poor country whose main produce is sugarcane and cocoa beans. Jim owns a processing company in a rich country that is subsidized by his government. He buys the sugarcane and cocoa beans from Bob, processes them, and makes caster sugar and cocoa powder, which he sells to worldwide retailers for a tidy profit. Their relationship is amicable, although businessman Bob can't help but think from time to time that he's being treated like a bit of a clown. And he's struggling to feed his family. While Jim has just upgraded his Italian sports car. Bob has had an idea. If I can save enough money, he says, I can begin to process my sugarcane and cocoa beans myself and make a larger profit like my friend Jim. And maybe one day work my way out of poverty. But what could I make? Let me think. Sugarcane? Cocoa? I know! I can make chocolate! Jim finds out about Bob's good idea and does not like it at all. See, he's concerned that he's going to lose his cheap supply of sugarcane and cocoa beans. And trust me, he is not prepared for that to happen at all. So Jim comes up with a crafty little plan of his own. That's it, he whispers. I'll start to make chocolate too. With my money, quality is irrelevant. There's no way he'll be able to compete with me for price, especially as my government will pay a big chunk of my costs. Both Bob and Jim's chocolates have gone on sale. Ah, very nice, Bob. Look at that. Except what Bob didn't know was that Jim had planned to flood his market with a whole line of cheaper chocolates. So cheap, in fact, that nobody bought Bob's normally priced chocolates, and within months he had gone out of business. I'll never have such a stupid idea again, Bob says. Bob has lost everything. His wife, his children, they've left him because he has no money and he cannot afford to feed them. Jim, on the other hand, is over the moon. And he's actually glad that Bob had had such an amazing idea. Their business partnership has never been so good. Now that Bob's chocolate company has gone bust, he's desperate, meaning that Jim has been able to negotiate an even lower price for Bob's sugarcane and cocoa beans. That'll learn him, Jim says. I mean, who did he think he was trying to put a fast one on me? Aw, look at him. I almost feel sorry for the poor man. Still, he has learnt a very valid lesson today. Life's just not fair, especially if the odds are stacked against you. Hey, Bob, Well, anyway, nice doing business with you, mate. I'll see you later.
So, what should the church's response be? Every time we buy a bar of chocolate from a big multinational company, it continues the injustice of unfair trade. If we keep acting like this, the impoverished farmers will be left with nothing. Fair trade helps give them something. But the campaign needs to grow more and more in order to be effective in overcoming injustice.